Hello, dear students. Greetings of the day. I, Mohammad Zishan, welcome you to the online classes of Bloomingburg Squad School. Dear students, due to some technical glitches, the last lecture was of just 2.5 minutes. The video got stopped because of some technical faults. So this will be our the fourth lecture, and we are going to study about the powers and functions of Parliament. Powers and functions of Parliament. Now here I am using word Parliament rather than Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, right? It means that now we are going to study the functions and powers of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha together, right? Parliament. So in your notes, I have written that there are some legislative function of Parliament. Now, what is the meaning of legislate? Means to make laws, right? So, what will be the legislative function? Make laws, amend laws. Okay, so it make new laws, right? Or amend previous laws. Amend means to make change. Amendment or amend means to make change in laws or constitution. Okay, change in constitution or pre-existing laws. Okay, that is amendment. Constitutional amendment means change in the constitution, and other amendment, simple amendment, is simple change, right? So that is the one of the objective. Then second is Parliament can make and amend laws on the subject given in union and concurrent list. Okay, so it can legislate on which on which subjects, on the union list subjects we have already studied, and on concurrent list subject we have studied this also. So on concurrent, union government as well as state government. Now the law making body of union government is legislature. Okay, and that is the parliament. Okay, it is called parliament. So parliament can legislate on the subjects given in the concurrent list, as well as the state government can also, state government assemblies. Okay, assembly of UP, assembly of uh, Maharashtra, right? Legislative assemblies. These assemblies may also legislate on concurrent subjects. But suppose if there is a subject, for example, I am not telling exactly, I am just telling example. For example, if it is telecommunication, it is under both. For example, right, it is in concurrent list. If state government has already made a law on this, right, on telecommunication, right, and then union government has made another law, right? State government already made that, but union government has now changed it or made something different law, right? So the decision or the legislation of union government will prevail on state government, and it will, state government's legislation will not be applicable. Okay, so it means union government is having overriding powers of legislation on the subjects given in concurrent list. Clear? Then after that we will study executive functions. Before that, they are saying that it can also legislate on the subjects given in the state list. That I have already told you in which case it can legislate. In case when Rajya Sabha will ask Parliament to legislate on that. Okay, so that is the third point which I have already explained you. Now is executive function. That was legislative. and now this is executive. Executive means to execute or implement laws. Executive functions. So the executive remains accountable to the Parliament of India for its every policy and action. Now I have told you that okay, the party which gets maximum number of seats forms its council of ministers headed by president, sorry, prime minister of India, PM, right? So this PM plus council of ministers, right, and various other IAS officers, IFS officers, right, or other officers, these all together are called executive. They are responsible for making laws, okay, making sorry, they are responsible for executing laws, right? Whichever law has been made, right, or whichever policy, they are, these PM and council of minister is responsible for making policy, right? They make policy. Once one policy is made, like suppose new education policy, new education policy, you must have heard about that, okay? So that will be brought into force by this, by IAS, IFS and other officers, right? So this one executive is called temporary executive because it is just for 5 years till they are in power. Temporary executive. And whereas this one, this is permanent executive because they are not the elected one, but they are the qualified selected one people, and that is why they are called permanent executive, right? Now they are saying that okay, the executive remain accountable to the Parliament of India for its every policy and action. So this executive is accountable to the Parliament, okay, right? In Parliament, the parliamentarians, okay, that is Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha, right? They both may ask questions about their policies. If they have made new education policies, they may have objections, okay, including means all parliamentarian members of all parties, whether it is BJP or it is Congress, SAPA or any other party, okay, they may ask questions, okay, they may criticize their policy also, right? So that is the means this executive is accountable to the Parliament. Whatever they are doing, they will have to tell to the Parliament that we are doing this and this thing, right? But as this executive is having majority in the Parliament, so nothing harm will take place to them, and in fact their will prevail, which I have already told you. Clear? Then next is the Parliament can discuss and question any policy and action of the government by passing various motions such as call attention motion, adjournment motion. Okay. Now this Parliament can discuss, right, bills. Clear? Any bill. Like yesterday, farmer bill was being discussed. Okay, and that farmer bill was not allowed to vote in Rajya Sabha, and because of that, some unparliamentarian activities took place in the Parliament. Right. So that is the another thing. Here we are saying that this Parliament can, suppose if they are making policy, new education policy, right, and most of the parliamentarians are not liking this policy, so they can pass a call attention motion in Parliament, and they can ask a Speaker of Lok Sabha to pay attention towards this education policy, and that education policy will be discussed in the Parliament, right? Likewise, if suppose if basic work of Parliament is taking place, right, Parliament is in session, Lok Sabha is going on, Rajya Sabha is going on, right, then in that if suppose general meeting is taking place, general work is going on, and if some parliamentarians want to discuss some other important issue, maybe it is a disaster or a natural calamity or something else which is of very importance, right, very much importance, So they can pass adjournment motion to keep aside their daily work and to take that particular issue into the consideration, into the discussion, right? Suppose if some real accident has taken place, right, or some other natural disaster has taken place, so they will say कि भाई this functioning will the basic work of the house will be kept aside. They will say कि we will do it afterwards, let us discuss that thing that is of very much importance. So that type of motion is called adjournment motion, right? So it can brought some issues into its to discuss into the parliament by adjournment motion and by call attention motion, various other motions, right? Now after that, financial functions, passes budget. Okay, so parliament, right, passes budget. Budget is what? Budget is an estimate of income and expenditure, right? It is an estimate of income and expenditure, that how much money or how much uh, revenue the government is going to earn and how much expenditure will takes place, how much money government is going to spend. Okay, that estimate is called budget. So that budget is prepared by budget. Budget word has been derived from, this is a German word, okay, which its meaning is budget. Budget means a bag of, or a leather bag, a leather bag. So earlier in other parliaments of Europe, this budget was presented in a leather bag. Okay, clear? It was this, so files were brought in the leather bag, so that is why it is called budget. But budget means an estimate of income and expenditure. Estimate of income and expenditure. Clear? That is budget. Now how budget is passed? It is prepared by finance minister. Who prepared? Finance minister, right? Clear? And it's passed by Lok Sabha. Now it is getting passed only by Lok Sabha. Okay, only by Lok Sabha, not by Rajya Sabha, right? So which type of bill it will be? Tell me. I am giving you 2 seconds. Which type of bill it will be? A money bill. Which bill? Money bill, right? So it is a money bill, you can say. Clear? Once it is passed, that becomes budget. Clear? So parliament pass budgets, draw money from consolidated fund of India after 1st April through vote of account. Okay. So parliament, when suppose if budget is not passed on 1st of April, till 1st of April, by 1st of April, budget is supposed to be passed. If budget is not passed by 1st of April, then what will happen? How government will bear the expenses? It will bear the expenses by vote of account. Vote of account. Now what does that mean? Let me check the duration of video first. 30 minutes. Okay, so vote of account means budget is passed on 1st of April, right, and it lasts till 31st of March. So this entire year starting from 1st April to 31st March is called financial year. Which year? Financial year. Financial year starts from when? From April. Okay, and it lasts till 31st of March. Our year starts from January, okay, but financial starts from 1st of April. So before this 1st of April only, the budget is supposed to be passed. Okay, clear? If budget is passed by 1st of April, then the entire amount or that estimate will be taken, or that amount will be given to the government, okay, which it required to in order to govern the country. Okay, right? So that will be given for complete year, 1 April to 31st of March. Like suppose if it was passed in 2019, right, and by the Feb of 2019, right, the estimated amount come to an end. Okay, now still 1 month, right, March, Feb and March, right, one first by first Feb of 2019 the that money was spent. Okay, now 2 months are left, Feb and March are left. Okay, so how government will bear the expenses for this 2 months, Feb and March 2019, right, and by 1st of April 2000, sorry, 2020 it is, by 1st of April 2020 new budget will be passed, right, till 31st of March 2021, clear, for this year, right, budget will be passed, but now still 2 months are there, okay, for passing this new budget, right? So what government will do in these 2 years, it will need money. So how it will take out money, it will take out money from the consolidated fund of India. From where? Consolidated fund of India. From here India take out money. Okay, how? By a method which is called vote of account. Okay, this vote of account is a method to draw money, right, from consolidated fund of India. Once the money which was given to the government in the budget, right, has been exhausted, has come to an end, and it requires more money. Okay, so that is called vote of account. So by this method, vote of account, in parliament will pass it. Okay, and the money will be given to the government for these 2 more months. Clear? That is vote of account. Now these all things you will study in class 10th in detail. I'm just telling you all these things so that it will be easier to learn these things in class 10th for you. It will be board exam, and God knows I'll be there with you or not. Okay, so after that, no taxes can be levied, abolished or replaced without the permission of the parliament. Okay, so without permission of parliament, no taxes can be levied. Levied means can be imposed or can be replaced, right, without permission of parliament. So that was the financial function. Now judicial function. Judicial functions, it can impeach or remove president of India, vice president of India, Supreme Court and High Court judges. I have already told you impeachment, the procedure, the process of removing, the process of removing president, vice president and Supreme Court as well as High Court judges is called impeachment. Okay, impeachment or Mahabhiyog. This word you will read, okay, in newspaper, as in our locality most of the Hindi newspapers are available. Okay, so you should know this term also, Mahabhiyog, right? Okay, impeachment. Then after that, constitutional function. It can amend the Constitution of India as long as the desired amendment does not breach the basic structure of the Constitution, right? So Parliament can change, okay, can do constitutional amendment also, right? These are called constitutional okay, constitutional amendments. Now government can make changes in the Constitution of India also, provided that those changes are not changing the basic structure of our Constitution. Basic structure Like, means if basic structures are not getting influenced, then those type of changes, small amendments can be made in the constitution. Basic structure, like you can say the nature of our country, nature of state. What is the nature of our state? Our state is democratic, socialist republic. Democratic socialist republic. Okay, so they cannot make they, it will be a republic only, right? It will be a socialist country also, it will be secular also, right? Right, so these are the basic natures. So suppose if means you not need to go into the deep, I just gave you an idea that what is the nature, right? Like you must have heard last year, one act was very much uh, in news. Okay, it was in news. Citizenship Amendment Act. Okay, now citizenship citizenship is in part 2 of our constitution, right? Part 2, starting from article 5 to 11, right? Article number 5 to 11, provisions regarding citizenships are given in that. Okay, so in such provisions, this is that, this is that, this is that. Okay, these type of provisions are there. So in one of the provision, right, one of the provision was altered or changed, right, recently. Clear? And it was said that the people, those who are coming from Afghanistan, from Pakistan, right, and Bangladesh, belonging to 5 religions: Sikhism, right, Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Parsi, right? If these people are coming to India before 2014, they have come to India before 2014, right? Then those will be called citizen of India. They will also be called citizen of India. They will be given citizenship, right? Even if they have come from these countries before 2014, right? But here Muslims were not included in this category, right? So now the people, those who were protesting against this amendment act, they started declaring, or they called it the violation of article 14, right? Article 14, equality before law, you can say, right? It was the violation of article 14. Clear? But the people, those who were in favor of this amendment, okay, act, they were saying that no, it is the reasonable classification of this, right, and hence it is not against the, it is not violating any article, right? So this type of thing was going on. So one group was saying that it is affecting nature of it is against the basic structure of constitution, right? Hence as it is violating one of the fundamental right. And other people are saying that no, it is not violating any fundamental right. So it was very controversial bill, right? And so many riots took place because of that bill, right? So I have told you that I was telling you about the constitutional amendments. Okay, so government can make amendments in the constitution, but that amendment should not be affecting the basic structure of the constitution, right? So these were the powers and functions of the parliament. I hope you would have understood that. Thank you so much.